I'm asking you why you're protesting a church event.
Firstly, I don't accept that this is a church.
Why would this not be a church?
This place refused to close down during COVID.
That makes it not a church?
Well, because what they did then was to create danger for the whole community around them and their own community.
Unbelievable. Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, standing in the parking lot of a church, Riverside Calvary Chapel. You might not know that because also we're seeing a display of protests. That's right, there's people here to protest an event taking place at this church in Langley because that event, which is called Truth Matters, put on Action for Canada, is hosting an elected official, you may have guessed it, MLA Dallas Brody, also the leader of One BC. You're not going to want to miss this report. But before I continue, you should also know, sadly, to do this report and bring it to you, I have to have 2 bodyguards by my side to keep myself and Sid behind the camera safe. So if you want to chip in to help cover our expenses, please do so at journalistdefensefund.com. Let's go see why they're here. Why are you protesting a church event?
It's not a church. Come on. Let's be realistic.
This is
what this is all about.
What is it about?
Hate.
Explain. What was hateful?
Hate. It's all about hate. Go get the camera in Barry Neufeld's face.
I've got to interview Barry.
Oh, good. Because
Right now I'm
Barry's
wondering
right there.
Yeah.
He just got fined a ton of money.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Why are you here for Barry? Is that what you're protesting?
I'm not here for Barry. No.
What are you here
I
for?
am here to stand up against hate.
Okay, what hate?
That's going to be spread by the missed lives of people who are walking into that building. And these people walking in are our neighbors, they're our co-workers, and they're ashamed. They walk right by with their heads down. They don't want to be recognized.
Are they?
It's unbelievable.
Is that shame or intimidation, or are they scared?
Do you think we're intimidating them? Not at all. Are we intimidating?
Do I look scary to you?
You look pretty intimidating.
So you said this is about stopping hate. What is the hate that you're stopping?
Oh, when they tell residential school survivors, when the leader of a political party, well, it's not really a political party anymore, but one person who claims she's the political party, when she can mock residential school survivors and then is kicked out of the party that she belonged to, shame on her. Shame on her.
But, I've had people, I guess there's a person in our party who's Indigenous, and she, was super angry and went to town and joined the NDP to call me out. So I've given a couple of interviews, and I've spoken just like this. I believe that I do know that if we don't have truth, not his truth, her truth, my grandmother's truth, or this whole thing about my truth and your truth, my truth. This stuff has to stop. It's like, it's got to be the truth.
Did you watch the video that
Yes.
Okay, did you watch
Yes,
the
I
4-second
watched it
clip or the
all.
whole video?
All of it.
So when I watched
So
the whole
it's
video,
so
she
disgusting.
was saying that there is a such thing as objective truth, and it can't just be people saying my truth or your truth. So she was talking about the difference between subjective or objective
Well, the
truth.
leader of her party did not like her and what she said.
Are you
and
here
was
because of
fired.
John Rustad, though, or you saw actual hate?
There's a slightly different issue here, right?
Sure.
So, you can talk about objective truth and so on.
That's what. No. That's what she was talking about.
You're giving us her lines, so we're
Right,
going to
which you
respond.
raised,
So
yeah.
we're going to respond to you, okay?
Okay.
So it's fascinating to me that Ms. Brody, or whatever she calls herself,
That's her last name, Brody.
is calling a whole group of people liars.
What group of people?
She's saying that she does not believe the stories of the Indigenous people, right? And so why would they lie?
Okay. So I've covered a lot of what she says. What she's raising issue with is the false claim that there had been 215.
So what?
It doesn't matter?
Of course not.
Okay. Are you
So-
the pastor of the Anglican Church that's part of organizing this?
No, I'm not part of. I am a pastor, and so the other thing that I wanted to say is, I don't know. Are you familiar with the Bible at all?
Yes.
Okay. What is the one commandment that Jesus gave us?
We're supposed to love God with all that we got, and the second is just like it, to love our neighbor.
Right. So in what way is what's happening in here loving your neighbor?
Well, I will interview Dallas Brody, but from interviewing her before, she doesn't believe that it's a good thing to misuse tax dollars when there is still Indigenous people who actually could use that money. It's not trickling down to the people in need. Instead, it's going to a banned government that misled the
What are
public.
you doing? And I know one of the things
I was answering your question.
one of the things I got a chuckle about was that your microphone says Rebel News.
Yeah, that's where I work.
Well, it's a little inaccurate, right? Because the Rebel News isn't news. Right? It's not objective
Says
news.
who?
It says me. Right?
Okay, I'm just asking your opinions.
yeah.
What's not objective about that?
Well, but you're standing here giving us the lines that are coming out of there. You're not really asking.
No,
what
I'm
we
just
think.
asking. I'm asking you why you're protesting a church event.
Firstly, I don't accept that this is a church.
Why would this not be a church?
This place refused to close down during COVID.
That makes it not a church?
Well, because what they did then was to create danger for the whole community around them and their own community.
Who
How
got sick
is
because
that?
they were open?
Back to my question, how is that loving your neighbor as yourself?
Well, I can tell you there were a lot of people, I covered that as well, by the way, and there were a lot of people who felt they were in need, possibly suicidal, that were coming here and felt peace and community during a very dark time. So some would say that's loving.
We're not trying to be, rebellious or fighting anything. We're just trying to follow the Lord and follow His word and just be available, be open. We know too that there's a lot of hurts and needs out there, and we're just desiring to be open and seek to minister. There's been a lot of reports saying you don't care, you're open, but the reason we stay open is because we do care, and we want to be able to care for those that are in need, that are hurting, or going through difficult times through this.
The Bible doesn't say you need to shut your doors during the time of a virus, and that is hate.
No, but the Bible does say in Isaiah that it's more important to be kind to people, to have justice, to deal with the oppressed. These people have been oppressed their whole existence.
What people?
The Indigenous people.
Okay. Did you know that Indigenous people are disproportionately Christians compared to the rest of people in Canada?
Yeah.
And did you know that when the false claim came out, the false claim of 215 kids discovered that it was Indigenous churches that were targeted and burned, their places of worship? Is that not hate? Is that not hate? Did you protest that?
This is a waste of time. I wanted to share with you my opinion that the center.
You don't like when I answer your question.
No. You're not answering my questions. You're giving a whole bunch of
Over 100 churches were burnt and vandalized since that false claim, many of them which were Indigenous churches, which you say you care about that community. Was that hate? Did you protest it as a religious leader?
As a religious leader.
Did you come out and protest against the burning churches that sparked after the false claim that 215 remains had been discovered when they had not?
Really and truthfully, I don't think there's any way this conversation is going to go.
All right. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah.
Because whatever you say,
Yes, it's just
she's not
inclusive.
here to be in conversation with you.
Oh, that's absolutely wrong. Could you just explain the hate that you're protesting against?
You know what? I've sat with groups of people who have that same belief system, and they're holding one set of what's being spoken against another and aren't willing to hold that intention in conversation, and that's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah.
So
What belief system are you talking about? I'm a
whatever
journalist
you're
asking you why you're protesting.
quoting somebody, and that's a belief system that
I'm
you're
quoting the person you guys are protesting, but give me a quote that was hateful then.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
How is that not happening here?
I've just explained to you. If you won't listen,
Oh, I heard.
I'm protesting Dallas Brody and the misinformation that she continues to spread, the hate that she spreads and the lies that she spreads, especially around SOGI, LGBTQ, transgender. I just think that it's wrong that she's even given a public platform to be able to say that level of hate that she does here.
So this is a private event, not necessarily public, happening in a church. But what's an example of one of the lies?
Oh, God. Help me there.
You know what? She's not wanting to be in conversation about this, so I think we can say, I think you could maybe go in and interact
You
with
can't speak for me, and you're speaking for her now. You're kiboshing the conversation.
Please go away.
She's not wanting
But she said she's protesting the lies and misinformation. I'm just trying to find out what it is.
So I think...
One
just going to
example.
twist your words.
Okay, I don't know who you are.
My name is Drea Humphrey. I don't know who she is, but she acts like she knows who I am. My name is Drea Humphrey.
I'm just here to protest what I believe to be misinformation and lies spread about.
What's one example, though? You have to know that. You're parked out here. It's a church. You're hitting
I think that if you really want to know what Dallas is about, go talk to Dallas.
I have many times, so now I'm trying to get your guys'
Go back and
side.
talk to
Yeah.
Well, what's the point of protesting then? What's this all about?
Saying nothing.
We're standing here just united against what we believe to be an injustice.
What's
So
one example of the injustice?
I think you
We're
just go
done
find
here.
out.
Go away.
You speak for her?
Yes, I
Isn't
do.
that like mansplaining or something like that?
No. This is past.
Well, I know. I moved on from him. He's following me. So it's just. Can anybody tell me one lie that MP Dallas Brody is saying or MLA Dallas Brody is saying? Just one lie. Why don't you tell us why and what you were speaking out today versus what the crowd outside was saying?
I was talking today about my journey and how this has been inspired by Tanya Gaw, and also learning to be courageous in the face of a lot of the things that are happening in our country. They like to label you, give you different names like racist, denialist, all these crazy things, they far-right extremist. None of it's true, and we all know that, but they're afraid because the winds of change are blowing, and people are sick of what's been going on with their governments, and I'm an indicator that things are changing. That's how I see it.
What's going on?
They're helping us out here. So we're having a night here. It's not a church event, but we've opened the doors for Action for Canada, who we love and support what they are doing and upholding truth. And so we've allowed them to come in, and it's generated a lot of attention here, unbeknownst to us at first. And so we got some protesters out here because, I guess people are not enjoying hearing what is true.
I get actually quite nervous speaking. I get nervous when I talk to you. I'm not really wanting to put myself out there publicly, but I've pushed myself to do that in hopes that I can just maybe inspire one person to step out and get involved. This is a job for all of us. We have to get involved if we want change. It's so easy to come to events like this with your plethora of ideas that they want to stack on top of for people that are already doing so many different actions and strategies, and people want to bring their ideas, or they want to see what the doers are doing, but they don't necessarily want to get involved. They just want to say how they think it should be done. And so when I come and I speak out, I'm nervous doing it, but I do it anyways because it's the right thing to do. I don't care what that is. I'll humble myself if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about it, that's fine. But you would think that more people would be interested in actually learning the truth about things.
We did speak to the protesters outside. Not a single one could provide an actual lie that they were accusing you of saying, but the general consensus was they were here to protest against hate and denialism. What do you make of those allegations?
These allegations have come at me since I got expelled from the party last year. They're names that they put on anybody who goes against the regime-accepted narrative. And I refuse to go according to what everybody's telling us the narrative has to be. So they come up with words like that. And I think a lot of these people just don't know even what they're talking about, really.
What is it you're actually doing when you raise these issues that involve Indigenous people?
I'm actually seeking truth and bringing attention to issues that are really important. And I'm contacted by so many Indigenous people saying thank you, and my life on my reserve is horrible, and they're sick of the lack of accountability, and they want the truth too. They're people too. They're not different from any other people. It's just that the reconciliation industry is controlling everyone. The money that's flowing in the name of reconciliation isn't getting down to the average Native person at all. It's staying at the top. Francis Widow's Morrison calls them the neo-tribal elite, and that's what they're creating. These people are becoming millionaires, billionaires on public money, and the people living on the reserves are still not having a great life at all, and that's got to change.
We're wanting to launch new chapters in the Lower Mainland and mobilize Canadians, help to get them actively involved and engaging with their local elected officials. And it's just an amazing organization. We're countrywide. We have chapters countrywide, and together we are achieving great wins, and we just need more of that. And so I'm so grateful for Pastor Brent opening his Church to Action for Canada. As I had just mentioned, we have chapter leaders that are actually pastors and make announcements on Sunday mornings about the activities, whether it's going to meet with city council members or school board trustees, and partnering with Dallas Brody is important to us because we've said that we've got to be actively involved as a community in raising up great leaders, and she's a great leader.
Now, to the people outside, we spoke with them as well, and from what they bothered to articulate, they said they were here to protest hate and denialism. What do you say to that claim?
Well, I feel that that's a lot of propaganda that's going on. It's a top-down problem. It's a global problem, and the United Nations, as we know, is involved in this. The United Nations, UNDRIP is the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, and they purposely done that in a collaboration with the United Nations agenda that you will own nothing and be happy. They want to take away our property rights, but it's not just a matter of that. These are very wealthy people who are wealthy on the backs of hard-working taxpayers, and so they don't only want to take away our land and our property rights. What they really want is our resources. They want to control our water. They want to control, what's under the ground, our mines, and those special resources that should be enriching all Canadians.
For reference, in case you don't know, UNDRIP is the aspirational framework out of UN for the rights on Indigenous people, not all people, and that's what British Columbia has adopted and committed to conforming to our laws, and you can find out more of that at our site, stopundrip.com. Now, something you talked about, which I also think is very important, but a lot of people don't know about, is the reasons why the Indian Act needs to be stopped. How about you touch on that?
Well, the Indian Act, I think that it is stopping the band members from thriving. It is the government monitoring and directing every aspect of their life. They can't even own their own property. They're not thriving. And I think that, as Dallas has said as well, we need equal rights for all. And that would come by tearing up that Indian Act. I really care about the Indians, and I really care that they're being used as pawns by the government and by these globalist elites who have this agenda to come over and use them to victimize them and keep them in a perpetual state of victimhood.
Well, I think they are very misunderstanding or misunderstood and deceived themselves, sadly, because we have no message of hate. Everything that we're espousing here is all about love. We want to see people doing well. And what we've seen so often in what we've allowed in our culture and society for people to think what they want, for what's true, to be true for them only, and allowing them to go down a path that is not healthy mentally, and causing people to just continue to go down a path that is not helpful and good. That's not loving when we just support things that are not good for other people. And so we're trying to uphold things that are going to be healthy, beneficial for people, and to do that in love.
When you're told something repetitively over and over again, then that's what they're going to believe is their truth. And I'm just so grateful for the whistleblowers and the people that are actually coming out and sharing about the money that is being fraudulently taken by chiefs and council and by the government. There's a lot of backdoor deals that are happening. The money's not going to where it needs to go. So for me, when there's flames and there's smoke, something smells. And so for me, I'm just like, it doesn't feel right. So we just need to follow the money, and I think we'll get the answers there.
I've seen a lot of protests, but I got to say, even I was a little bit surprised to see that a church was actually organizing a protest against you, St. Dunstan's Anglican Church. Did you know that, and does that surprise you?
That was very surprising to me. We just found out about that today, and where they were putting a call out to all their members to come and show up and to protest this event that's going on here. So I was quite surprised at that. Yeah, that was a shocker.
Protesting a private event at a church.
Well, I would say it's a very sad day for the Anglican Church, but that this has been going on for decades, the breakdown with their compromise of biblical standards. And as we know, during COVID, a lot of churches had closed down, and I always said that that was God separating the wheat from the chaff. And with Action for Canada, we're uncompromising to the Word of God. And that the Word of God also says that when you go into a nation, don't sign treaties with them, because then basically you will be pulled in to those customs. There will be division. It will cause chaos. And that's exactly what it's doing right now. It's dividing us when we should be uniting, because we both have a common enemy.
Speaking of names, I noticed the media got ahead of this event, this private event in a church, and said, oh, a controversial leader. What do you make of you being called controversial, even though you're elected official and you were clearly welcome here?
It's controversial because I'm speaking and saying truth that nobody else will say. And so controversial is just a way of always trying to take you down a notch and make sure that you they don't like me gaining traction. So they're trying to always label you. They do it to anybody who tries to speak common sense or be normal, and they just do that to you. It's part of the game. You just have to get used to it and keep fighting and just say, well, call me whatever you want. Whenever you say that, you get more people coming out to hear me. So it's not working because my crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the real test of things, isn't it?
Well, that concludes the event that took place with a protest outside. I can't tell you what it feels like to come back here again. A deja vu of the church being under attack during lockdowns. This was one of the few churches who took a stand, kept their doors open to the public who needed to gather and worship. And here they are welcoming an elected official who's simply under the charge for speaking the truth about the reconciliation industry. I'm Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. Well, we're here, we're alive. We got this story out to you in both sides. Thankfully, there was no violence today, but unfortunately, that isn't the only case, which is why we had to have 2 bodyguards by our side to bring you coverage from a church. If you appreciate that Rebel News gets our boots on the ground to bring you important stories like this in times like this, please consider making that possible by donating what you can at journalistdefensefund.com. We appreciate your support.